Oops.
Welcome to the Lift Heavy Run Long podcast. This is episode number 137. You can find us at www.liftheavyrunlong.com, on Twitter and Instagram at liftrunlong. Also, feel free to email Wilson directly at the address wilson@liftheavyrunlong.com. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. If you're not a member of our private Facebook group, you should be because we want you to be there. Search for Lift Heavy Run Long Community and request to join right now.
Dang, you're good.
Wow, you crushed it.
Very nicely
It's
done.
almost like you're a doctor or something.
Give me a high five.
Really smart.
I can read.
Good work. Amanda and I give really crappy high fives to one another because it scares Charlie.
Yeah.
And so every time we're giving a high five, we're like
A little pat?
oh,
Yeah.
a little pat.
Does it really scare?
Yeah,
Yep.
he's such a scaredy cat.
Wow.
Any loud noise freaks him out.
The Lift Heavy Run Long podcast is not censored for those of you watching.
Somebody. Oh, well, I guess we might get to that.
We will get to that, but
Okay.
somebody commented on
But
that.
we have an app.
We do have an app. Lift Heavy Run Long has an app, and we want you on it for $3.99. You can be on that app, and you will be added to the Lift Heavy Run Long community. And what you will get with that app is access to the greatest endurance trainer in the world, Ms. Valerie Hunt of RunRx.fit. And she will deliver 3 bodyweight exercises every week, 4 barbell strength exercises, and 4 daily WODs.
Is the app censored?
The app is highly uncensored. For $9.99, you can have access to all of the programs that Lift Heavy Run Long has to offer, which is everything from 5K distances to 100-mile races to
Spartan
triathlons, Spartan races, whatever you want. Chances are Valerie can get you fixed up with it. So come be a part of that. Also, the goal of Lift Heavy Run Long is to bring fitness to as many people as possible, as inexpensively as possible. So if you or someone you know does not have $3.99 a month and you think that fitness will enhance your quality of life, then please email me at wilson@liftheavyrunlong.com, and you're welcome to use the app free of charge. My name is Wilson Horrell. I am one of your hosts.
One.
I am sitting next to the best looking host, not only here, but probably on the planet, the face of the universe.
I agree.
Or on the face of the planet in the universe.
In this universe? Or like
Wherever.
Mars? Oh.
Dr. Amanda Kinsey Horrell, Jacked and Tan.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm tired.
You're keeping it humble. You're going
Work
with
is hard.
agreeing with the best looking host in the world. It's
Yeah.
good to have a little self-confidence.
In this room, anyway.
You got to take that.
Boom.
You got to own it. She knows that.
Yeah.
Best looking host in this room.
Got to accept the compliments.
That's right. And next to her, we have Taylor Somerville. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm well. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to have a good time. Our friend Richard McClure, O positive of the F3 Nation, F3 Memphis.
That's right.
He turned me on to you, and I certainly am glad for that.
Same here.
And next to Taylor, we have the Reverend
Here I am,
Vaughn Ross.
sitting right here on the couch.
You doing okay?
I'm fantastic. Yes, sir.
You know what we're missing?
We're missing Big
Thirsty.
Thirsty.
Big Thirsty's not here,
I know.
and I'm sad about that.
His absence is definitely felt.
It certainly is. But we know he's having a good time in
California.
California. Is that where he is?
Yep.
What is he doing there?
He's camping.
I saw.
He's camping in California?
Well, so he's going for a wedding, and him and his girlfriend decided to go out a couple days early and do some camping, do a couple of nights of camping before they go to the wedding over the weekend. So I think that's about the extent of my knowledge of it. But I don't know who's getting married or any of that good stuff. But I saw he texted me a picture earlier of their campsite, and it was pretty cool looking. So I'm sure they're having a fantastic time.
Well, his tent looked exactly like the one that he had at Big Hill Pond, at least the covering that he had on there.
Well, I thought that I think I saw him post on Facebook earlier that he rented that and it was set up for them when they got there
Oh, it was set up for him. That's important.
or something like that.
Yep.
I guess we'll have to get him to.
I like the
fill us
sound
in.
of.
So are
of
they
that.
camping or glamping?
Sounds like maybe a little.
Well, I'm not an expert on glamping, but if someone is setting,
Depends on how nice it is. I
if
guess.
somebody
guess
is setting it all up for you and you're just showing up, that might be
Sounds like glamping.
on the verge
Sounds
of
like glamping.
Yes,
I see
yes.
Thirsty as being more of a glamper
Could
than
be.
anything else.
Yeah, could
I
be.
think that the definition needs to be set, though. There needs to be a line between what is camping, like hardcore man camping, and what is glamping.
Well, it's all new. These are interesting times.
We need to talk to Sean Hilston's the guy. for
5
that.
years from now, we'll know exactly what glamping is. and
I
what
would
glamping
get
is
Sean
not.
to write the guidelines, except for he'll do like you got to bring your own flint to start your fire, and you have to boil your own water and all that stuff that I'm not ever going to do.
What was the guy that invented the internet? Not Al Gore, but the real guy.
Is there a real guy?
What's Tim Berners-Lee? Ooh, somebody's gonna roast me on that one.
That
But
might be it. From
Sean is like that dude of the glamping world,
Of the
or
outside
the
world.
outside camping and outdoors world.
Should we talk about the CrossFit Open?
Yeah, sure. You want to look and see
you
what
know
the
what the
workout
workout
is?
is?
Yes,
Yeah,
very
what
much.
is it? I'm
Figure it out.
dying to
Well,
know.
keep talking and I'll see.
Well, Amanda and I have to leave here and go do the workout.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
because
gonna
we're
go to the
leaving
gym.
tomorrow for the Fall Creek Falls 50K.
Get it done early.
And so we figured
Oh man, wow.
that we need to, get the extra rest, and
So we're just gonna do it.
we're going to go ahead and do it. I did like close to 200 air squats this morning. I mean, like in the
He
two-a-day realm.
He went and worked out.
We're getting out of the comfort zone here. I'm not supposed to be doing that. I'm not to that athletic level. I'm not to the
I mean,
level
you're running a
of
50K this weekend, so
Yeah, but we'll see. That can go a lot of ways.
But that could be your excuse. Like, oh, I
He's
would have
really-
done better.
Oh, yeah,
but I did
He's
one
really
this morning.
walking a fine line because he likes to, and he made a post on his blog today or yesterday. I can't remember, but it was talking about he's getting into this computer programming stuff.
oh, he was telling me about that.
and he's like, it was driving him crazy, this problem, and then he goes into the gym and drops the problem, goes to the gym, and in mid workout the solution pops.
That's
into
what
his
always
head,
happens.
right? But he always likes to play dumb, and he always likes to be like, oh well, I'm just going to run 50 miles. It's gonna be, I'm just waddling.
That's where the great
But-
ideas
So
happen.
he's walking this fine line of where, okay, dude, at what point are you going to be a computer programmer that runs ultra marathons, and you're not an idiot anymore? Like
That's my goal, man.
You can't
That's my
play
goal.
that.
Once he builds that,
Yeah.
Right, you
then
can't
that
play
whole
that
deal,
card
yeah.
anymore.
It's safer that way. And I hate to hear other people talk that way. And I know that I do it. I'm aware that I do it. Just that kind of self-deprecation, it kind of takes the sting out before somebody else,
Right.
puts it to you. And it's not a good thing.
You got to own it.
And
You
it
gotta
needs to
step
stop.
into it.
That's right. Because
Are
I am
you
good
ready?
enough. I am smart.
Are you
enough.
ready? And doggone it, people like you.
That's right.
And people are going to like 19.3 as well,
Okay.
I'm sure. Because it is 4-time 200-foot dumbbell overhead lunge, 50 dumbbell box step-ups, 50 strict handstand push-ups. High five.
Strict.
Nice.
200-foot handstand walk. It does say 50 strict handstand push-ups.
What?
Wow.
And a
50
handstand
strict-
walk?
See how many people
How do you
get
even
past that?
scale that? Can you
200,
scale that?
200 foot. Wow. 200-foot handstand walk.
Seated dumbbell press or something? I don't know.
Okay. So men, 50-pound dumbbells and a 24-inch box. Women, 35-pound dumbbell and a 20-inch box. You have a time cap
Okay.
of 10 minutes.
Oh, shit. I won't make
so
it very
that means
far.
I'm not making it to the
I won't have to worry
handstand
about the
push-up.
hand.
Tell me
handstand
that.
push-ups.
Tell me that again,
All right.
briefly.
4-time
Okay.
200-foot dumbbell overhead lunges.
Okay.
50 dumbbell box step-ups, 50 strict handstand push-ups, 200-foot handstand walk. Dumbbells for guys is 50 pounds. The box is 24 inches. Dumbbell for ladies is 35 pounds and a 20-inch box. You have a time cap of 10 minutes.
I have prayed for handstand walks to be in the open at a place
And they
that I
put
can
it
get
at the
to
very end of a 10-minute workout.
after 50 strict handstand push-ups.
Well, it would take me 10 minutes to do 5
That's
strict
tough.
handstand push-ups.
Yes,
probably,
it
or
will.
whatever.
I don't even know if I could get a strict handstand push-up.
I can get
I could
one,
do them like one at a time or something.
two,
but I'd probably be
but I
done.
can kip them pretty well.
Yeah, I can kip them out,
So-
but I don't even know if I could do a strict.
Well, the way that I do my handstand push-ups generally is the same way I do my toes to bar. I do one set of as many as I
One
can
set
do,
of like
And that's it.
and then I'm good for sets of one.
He did last
after
week.
that.
He did like 18 toes to bar, like right in a row, and then it was like
He's
one.
like,
at a,
I'm done.
And then it was like one at a time.
It's like, this guy's on world record pace. Oh no, he's not.
There
No,
is
wait,
no
wait.
pacing. You don't worry about going.
I don't
to
pace.
failure. You're just gonna. take
I
it
go
all
to
the way
failure
there.
all the time.
Yeah.
2
Like, I'm
years,
not going to do it this time. And
2
then he
years
does.
ago, we were going to Fall Creek Falls 50K, and it was the deadlifts with 225 pounds. I think we had to do 50 of them, and then
Yeah.
go and do wall balls or something like that.
With a rowing, and
Maybe a rower. Yeah, it was a rower.
that was a tough one.
And everybody's like, break them into sets of 5. Break them into sets of 5 deadlift. Do sets of 5. And there's all these people around. I'm like, oh, I want to show off so bad. And I did like 33 of the deadlifts in a row. And then I was like, now what? That was a terrible decision. I just put all that effort into it, and now I'm done. So my time was bad, my score was bad, and Fall Creek Falls was bad.
I can't get it. You try.
Well, there you have it. 19.3 is
I'm just gonna go turn it on.
crazy. There goes my.
I might have to try that one.
Okay, maybe Dave Castro wrote the workouts before he
They
got
fired him. He turned him in. They're like,
That
"Man,
sounds
you're
like
fired."
one for him.
Right. Huh. So that's pretty interesting. A 200-foot handstand.
That's a long way.
That's a long way. Let's think about it.
Well,
10 meters is 32 feet.
I mean, it's 2/3 of a football field. So.
Yes. Wow.
With a overhead walking lunge.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
what's crazy is there's people that'll finish the workout.
Yeah.
Do you think? Like, there are people that will finish
The
that in
games
10 minutes?
athletes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There'll be some around here, maybe not in Memphis, but
I wonder.
How far is it when they set the cones up in the gym?
10 meters.
10?
10 meters, which is 32 feet. So you're talking about 200 feet.
Well, never mind. Forget what I said about worrying about the strict handstand push-ups, because I don't know that it's a long way to get.
You can do a handstand walk for that long.
I can't get to the handstand walks.
Oh, I know.
I don't know that I can get to the handstand push-ups after lunging 200 feet. I don't lunge well.
Right.
My goal
And
is
then
to
do
get to
thrusters.
the handstand push-ups. That's my goal, because I can't do a strict hand. I don't think I'm going to try to do one to be a step above some people, but
Yeah, some of these guys, like Mike McGoldrick, like when he was working out at the gym, I would be in there working, and he would just be like walking on his hands around in circles. Like, like, how do you do that? Like, I can't comprehend people.
I can't.
I've never been able to
find
do
the
that
balance. Nope.
Yeah. And then it gets
About
to a
5
point
feet and fall
where
over.
it gets like too easy for them, so they make things they have to step over and up on top
the obstacle
of.
course around the gym.
Right.
I had been in CrossFit probably 2 months and had met Michael Goldrick a few times, and he's like Michael Goldrick, like everybody.
McGoldrick,
That's McGoldrick. And he's standing there, and I go to do a handstand push-up, and I just like fell asleep and completely tipped over. So I just went head over heels, and he was like, "What the hell? Like, are you okay?" He's like, "You look like Tommy Boy or something." I was so embarrassed. It was such a terrible fall. I got Steve Wilk over here texting me. Steve Wilk's out of his mind. He thinks he's going to come back
Well, he skipped the first
after
workout. You
skipping the
can't-
first workout
Can't do that.
and beat us.
Not either one of us. Anyway.
Who?
Steve?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's that delusional. He's been smoking that much
Well,
crack.
I'm good. I'm proud for him for having such a strong dream.
Such confidence.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
So-
Just roasted Steve.
We should talk about doing what you brought up earlier, if there's any interest at all in the Open in October. Do you think there will be?
I don't know. You're just gonna have to see. Like, and maybe you can chime in. But my feeling is, it was hard to get a lot of people motivated to sign up this year for the Open, and there's not as much hype as there used to be, and turning around and trying to do it again in October is going to,
lot.
as a gym owner, I'm just, from that perspective, I'm like, man, I got to turn around again in October and try to be like, okay, everybody, let's sign up for the Open. We
There's a
just
lot
did
of
the
stuff
Open.
going on too at that time of year.
That it is football season
Yeah,
and
football
all that
season.
kind of stuff.
You don't want to
And-
spend a weekend worrying about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so my thought is if anybody is interested in it, we should really put together some like announcement videos of our own, because what I'm seeing from HQ is like just not that great. Like
Brandy and her husband.
Yeah,
how they did
We,
those little
we
they're
should
videos.
set up at the gym a live feed and announce the announcement at the same time that they do, and get local CrossFit people
To come
and
in
have
and
them
do it.
compete.
That's a good idea.
Only we have a good time
Right.
with it. Like, if we could have, say, Steve Wilk and Chris Miller be our featured guys, and they go against each other, and we
just
can
regular dudes.
and we
Right.
watch them, and they have like a shaved head match or a loser leave town.
yeah, and I like this.
The shaved head match is a good one.
I
Yeah,
like-
tar and feather match.
I like that, but also I liked your wrestling component to it. If you made a belt, if we made two belts,
Yep.
for one for a woman and one for a man, everybody in this city would come to try to get those
That's
belts.
probably
Oh, yeah.
true.
I mean, there is
We
no
probably
doubt
have wrestlers
about,
coming to
Oh,
compete.
There is no telling who would show up. How many
We
people
could
would
make
show
it
up.
all kinds of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Not to mention we could make all kinds of fun of the people actually competing.
So I think so. To that end, I think it's our job to in October make the Open great again.
That's right. You're exactly
Make
right.
hats and everything for it.
Make the Open great again, and we should have our own components, our own variables. We should allow like each person to have 2 timeouts. We should allow one
Can you phone a friend? Have your friend come in there and do personal workout for you?
tag team.
Oh, yes, I love it. Like, I can't do these handstand push-ups. Get your ass over here.
You're allowed one hidden weapon. Like you can bring fire, or you can bring flour.
Oh man.
And you don't have to announce what that's going to be, but you can, use that on your opponent. There's all kinds of. I spent enough time at the Coliseum on Monday nights to where we could ride this thing out forever.
I mean,
And I know it works because they used to sell that thing out.
October is going to be lit.
Yep. We'll see how that goes. That's a lot of effort, but we could do it. We could pull it off.
We could definitely pull it off.
Speaking of wrestling, King Kong Bundy died. Is that a thing for you at all?
Not me.
I remember him growing up a long time ago.
Were you a wrestling fan?
As a child, yeah, the Ultimate Warrior, I think, was my favorite
Okay.
growing up.
Were you more of
WCW?
like the WWF, WCW kind
Well,
of person?
I grew up in Montgomery, Alabama,
Ah.
and we used to have the WCW come in a lot. And Lord Humongous, I think, was in there. But I always loved the Ultimate Warrior. He was always kind of my favorite. A little crazy, super jacked like they all were, I guess.
Well, see, here in Memphis is where everybody started.
Yeah.
And so we were wrestling fans, like as a family, like grandfather, dad, brother, like that's
Everyone,
what we did
yeah.
was watch wrestling. And so watching all these guys go from, where they were to the big stage was just awesome. And King Kong Bundy, while I don't remember him being a Memphis wrestler, I do remember him being like one of those guys.
Yeah, WWF.
So when he died, it was kind of hard for me. Not as hard on Amanda.
Yeah, Wilson took it real hard. I was like, who?
She hurts me like that.
I was like, I know
intentionally.
Al Bundy.
They don't do wrestling anymore, do they? In Memphis?
I don't know if they do Monday Night Wrestling.
There's like this weird one when I go down Perkins and Rains area, and it's like there's a sign that points back to some shady warehouse. And it's like wrestling.
I know what you're talking about.
And I'm like, who goes to that?
Yep, and those guys are getting paid $150
I bet they are.
bucks.
I almost want to go.
Probably killing each other.
Right.
Brian Christopher, Jerry Lawler's son, who recently killed himself in prison, he got arrested. He couldn't pay. He trashed a hotel room, couldn't pay the fee, and had just made $150, $200 in Arkansas doing, he just reached
Wow.
that point. And that's where the majority of those guys are. You see the Hulk Hogan's and the Hillbilly Jims, and you think, boy, that would be nice. But coming up in that is no place.
Oh man.
Take a lot of pain for that, too.
Yeah. We watched the thing on Ric Flair, and Ric Flair they were interviewing Hulk Hogan in regards to Ric Flair, and Hulk Hogan was like, man, he was the He was the best. You know, he said, he was like, Ric Flair's done 20 matches over an hour long. You know, goes to these places and just gets the fans going and blood and chairs and audience members. And Hogan's like, I've never done an hour-long match. You know, this guy's done 20 of them. And those old school guys, man, they would go. They would slice the forehead and, you know, just blood everywhere.
Party all night when they got done.
And
too.
just party like rock stars. God almighty. I would have loved to have been a wrestler. Just the partying part, though. We're going to go straight to our guest.
Let's do that.
Let's do it. Taylor, you have got an interesting background. I told you to bundle up. I was worried about him getting cold, you know, because we don't have heat in the shop. Now this guy spends the majority of his time in an ice bath.
Yeah.
I do like the ice. Yes, I do.
Tell us about that.
Well, a little of my background, I was actually in the investment world for 15 plus years. Then about 5 years ago, really started getting into breath work. Got involved with this company called XPT, started by Laird and Gabrielle Reece, based out of California. He's a big wave surfer. She's a pro volleyball player. They train a lot of athletes, and they've been coming up with a lot of breath work protocols, also a lot of heat and ice contrast therapy, pool workouts where you're in the water with dumbbells, really learning about your breath, learn how to control your breath, getting uncomfortable. It's all about moving as a breathe, move, recover mentality. They actually, Joakim Noah goes out there and trains with them a good bit.
Really?
So, yeah, he's a big XPT
He's the
guy.
Florida
He's
old
now
Florida
with the
basketball player?
Grizzlies.
He
Yeah,
plays for the Grizzlies.
I didn't know he's on the Grizzlies now.
yeah. He's like one of their best guys now after they got rid of.
Well, I should do a better job keeping up with Grizzlies. I know more about Memphis wrestling than I do Memphis Grizzlies.
Well, you don't watch basketball a lot, do you?
No,
Yeah, so
not at all.
you know more about football.
Okay, so go on.
So I went out and trained with them. Really just got into the breath work because of stress in my life. Went through divorce, and it changed how I just reacted in situations, just, you know, with the markets and just general overall well-being. Also helped improve athletic performance. I've always been into fitness, been doing CrossFit for a long time, done endurance races. So I saw how it helped me recover from those, along with helping me train. Then you get the heat and the ice together. The ice has a host of physical benefits, your immune system, inflammation, just overall health benefits for you. But it really, when you get thrown into a 30-degree ice bath, you learn how to use your breath to control your mind.
Yeah,
and you
you do.
change because it's a panic full-blown, especially the first time. And most people get in there and you're breathing through your chest rapidly in and out of your mouth, and it's full-on panic, sympathetic, get me the hell out of here right now. So learning how to slow your inhales down, breathing in through your nose, slowly out through your mouth, really getting that under control. And after about 30, 45 seconds, most people can slow down and can handle it. And we stay in there for 3 minutes protocol and then get into a sauna. That's about a 200-degree sauna for 10 to 15 until you're uncomfortable, and we cycle through the whole thing three times.
Do it again.
Ooh.
3 times.
You go from the sauna
Man.
to the ice bath?
Yeah, and you feel amazing when you get done.
Oh,
It
I
is.
bet you do. But I bet in the interim.
In the middle of it's the first round. The first round freaks everybody out, but you have that. When I do it around town, I'd have groups of about 10 people. So you have the shared suffering in the ice. Everybody's because 2 people would be in the ice. You get 8 people in the sauna, and then you get in the sauna and everybody's laughing, having a good time, just talking. And when you get done, your sleep's amazing that night. You'll end up becoming extremely hungry a few hours later because it's pretty much like a workout for your body. I mean, you got your blood rushing into your core and out to your extremities, and it's a pretty stressful, sympathetic event, and it's a shock to the system. So, and then it just kind of helps you with doing something uncomfortable that most people don't want to do. And when you get in there, and then you're like, okay, I can take this to other avenues of my life. When I'm stressed at work or at home, it's just kind of like anything that is very stressful, I can take my breath and learn how to control it.
And are you
use
training people to take this away and do it 24/7? I mean, is the goal to learn
the goal
to control
is to
your
learn
breath
to control
all the
your
time?
breath and to learn to use your breath to control your mental state. Because basically, I mean, it's a feedback loop. When you start getting panicked, when you start getting stress, your respiration rest increases, your heart rate increases. You start breathing into your upper chest, start using all the musculature that you shouldn't really be using when you're breathing. And so it's about dropping into that parasympathetic, that rest, relaxation, digestion. So, I just go through some simple protocols, and I teach breath classes around town too. So I'll put people through 30 minutes where I'll have you lie down here, put you through, a bunch of different techniques. Some have been around thousands of years, kind of combine them it's almost like a little workout for your respiratory system, nervous system, ramping your system up and down. And you might get a little stressed out. We'll do some extremely long breath holds through that process. By the time we're done, though, usually people are calm and euphoric. And kind of taking that to show you how you can change your physiological state, how you can change your mind with your breath. And then I'll go from there and I'll give people protocols to do at home, just kind of center themselves for the day. Got stuff to do right after a workout to help really kick in the down regulation. Most people in this day and age, we're just in this sympathetic overdrive, chronically stressed. We got information coming at us all the time. So we need to step away and just kind of relax a little bit. We need to slow the cortisol production in our body, slow the adrenaline. And most people are just going from home to work to working out, whatever they're doing, they're just always going. So it's learning to shut that off a little bit. And then you can get on the athletic performance side of it, learning how to more efficiently use oxygen, just becoming a better breather overall. And that'll have a host of benefits just for your physical self and just overall well-being. I mean, it helps with asthma, anxiety, sleep problems.
Well, I was sitting here going through my head of what the potential pluses to that in other areas. Obviously, the athletic area, but also you're trying to do this to relax and be more comfortable, but in meditation, it would have to play a huge part or make meditation easier.
It is somewhat of a form of meditation and mindfulness without calling it that. It's very much when you're just following your breath, counting your inhales, your exhales, your holds. So like one of the easiest techniques I do is called box breathing. So you have 4 corners of a breath. You have an inhale, a hold, an exhale, and a hold. So box breathing, you're just breathing in equal ratio. All through the nose, just inhaling for 3 or 4 seconds, exhaling for 4, hold for 4, or inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. 5 minutes, kind of calms the mind, kind of gives you a little set for the day. Instead of waking up in the morning and just jumping into your phone and jumping into what life's going to throw out at you, it's kind of letting you take control of the situation.
Well, I got introduced by a friend of mine to the Wim Hof thing.
Yeah, Wim, that's the technique. And
a couple of years ago, and that's a game changer. Like the first time I sat down with a friend of mine and did it, and when we were done, I was like, I've never felt this way before. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, what is this? I don't even know. What is this feeling? You know? And I'll go on stints where I do it regularly, and it's helped running immensely. And even like during runs, like if I just switch to that mindset of, okay, let's pay attention to how we're breathing here.
Yeah.
Right. Especially in the later miles of a long race, where normally I'd be like panic or whatever. If I adjust and go, okay, let's just breathe. Okay.
Yeah.
And kind of focus on that. It makes a big difference.
It does. And the Wim Hof method is one of the techniques that we use. And he was actually an advisor with XPT for a while. And that's like one of the methods. And in running, a good thing that I do, and which I tell a lot of people in aerobic, is to try to nasal breathe as long as you can. That activates your diaphragm. That keeps you in that relaxed parasympathetic state. And when you're going aerobic, basically you learn to use oxygen much more efficiently after you train with it. When you first start doing it, you feel like you're drowning somewhat.
Right.
But after a little bit of time, about a month, your body will start adjusting, and you'll become much better at all of your athletic endeavors, really.
You know, at F3, they give everyone a nickname. After you work out there, they have, a circle, and you tell a little bit about yourself, and then people just attack you with nicknames.
Okay.
That's how I got the name Uncle Rico, which is fitting because I just can't give up my high school football career.
Okay.
You want to tell them what your name is?
Mouth breather.
Mouth
It
breather.
was between like Iceman and Mouth Breather.
I was
They were
guessing
like,
in my head Iceman.
yeah, I was
Mouth
like,
Breather's better.
Iceman would have been much better.
Right.
But because Mouth Breather, it's like, you don't want to be breathing through your mouth. That keeps you stressed. That keeps you.
Right.
And when you're breathing through your mouth and you're taxing this musculature, your neck and your shoulders, for one, it keeps a lot of people have tension there, and that's one of the reasons. But it also tells your body when you're doing something physical, okay, I'm really tired and need to start shutting down. If you can just learn to breathe properly and not use that musculature, it will help you go a little bit longer.
Well, you said that you went through a stressful period of time and this helped you get through that and become better because of it. Did you go in search of this?
Oh, yeah.
In the middle of, during your stressful
Well,
period?
it's kind of started playing around with some meditation. And then as I was going through, I went and searched and started finding different techniques. And then I heard Laird and Gabby on a Tim Ferriss podcast, and Brian McKenzie, because Brian McKenzie used to be involved with XPT as well.
Is he not anymore?
No, he's not anymore.
Okay.
He's now just doing the power, speed, endurance, and the art of breath, which I've gone and done his seminars too. Those art of breath, they're really good. But so I found that, and then I found Wim Hof, and I kind of went on a deep dive down all of it, and started buying every book I could, watching every video,
Yeah.
really getting into yoga. So when I get onto a subject, I usually try to nerd out on it as much as I can.
Did I read that you went to the Maui thing?
I've been to Maui or to Malibu and trained. Yeah, to the XPT
sorry.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I went to one in Malibu and one in Kauai. And so you go there, and they're pretty amazing. I mean, it's 20, there have been about 20 people from all walks of life. A lot of, I would say, type A high-performing individuals who, not necessarily all extremely fit, but all looking to grow in their life and finding out, just, push themselves a little bit. So you get there and they put you, kind of a meet and greet. You're at Laird and Gabby's house, and you go through a 30, 45-minute breath session right out of the gate. And I'd done a lot on my own, but never in a group setting. And when I got done with that, I was like, oh my, wow, how do I feel? This is amazing. I never felt like this in my life. And everybody else with me felt the same way. Then they throw you in the pool, start throwing dumbbells at you. You're swimming underwater, holding dumbbells. And it's that really gets everybody out of their comfort zone. No matter how athletic you are, what you do, when you're swimming and you get a 30-pound dumbbell and you got to come up and get a breath of air and go back down, and you keep coming up or swim across the whole length of the pool holding it, it really freaks you out a little bit at first.
And that's kind of the aim, is to freak you out and learn to be calm in that.
Gabby really kind of runs those, and she is probably the best coach I've ever been. Like, the ability to push you further than you think you can go, but doing it in a way where you can do it. Where she's like, yes, you got to keep going. You can do it. And right when you want to quit, she's just right there on top of you. Then you start doing the heat and the ice, and they also bring in people from all over to come in and talk. And they have a great group of advisors that come in. Kelly Starrett, Andy Galpin. They got a bunch of different guys that come in now and speak.
You've hung around with quite a few big-name people.
Well, I wouldn't say I've really hung around with them, but
You've been with it in the same vicinity.
Yeah, and I'm going back out there to train in Malibu at the end of this month too. So do some more training with XPT, which I'm looking forward to.
I watched listened to a thing with David Scoggins. He was talking about the SEAL training, and that they would tie your hands behind your back and your feet together.
The drown proofing deal,
and chunk you in the water. And you had to stay in there for, I can't remember how long, 7 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it was. Yeah. And he said that the people would do all kinds of things to stay afloat or to, keep air. And he said the trick is to allow yourself to sink until you just completely relaxed, go all the way down. And right when you kiss the bottom, then just give it a little bounce and come back up. And if you're calm in that situation, it's not a problem, but it's hard to do that.
You have to stay calm, in all those.
And that's the test.
Yeah. And people try to fight the water, and it's learning to relax all the muscles in your body and to go slow. It's that slow is smooth, smooth is fast aspect of it. So around town, I during the summer, I'll coach some pool workouts, do most of those privately at people's houses. but they're always a lot of fun. Everybody really enjoys those.
Well, so what are you doing every day? Is this your job now?
Yeah,
What
now,
do you-
so I got out of the investment business, now write a blog, newsletter, and I teach breath work at CrossFit gyms, yoga studios, corporate. I've done some work with the city council recently, going into different businesses, helping them, help executives. And then I have a mobile sauna and ice baths that I take around all over town, do it with private functions with groups, and then also we'll set up classes at different gyms. So have a group pretty much, in the fall I was doing that constantly. And now it's picking back up. Even in the winter, I still have groups that I do work with. Have some people come over to my house, and I'm actually looking for some space right now because I have a lot of people who want to be doing this every week. So
how long were you working in the investment arena before
15 years.
15 years. And so what was the drive? Like what tell us about how that happened when you just decided,
well,
I'm not
it was,
gonna do this anymore.
It was, I worked in economics and on the financial side. And so one thing I loved about markets is always the psychology. Why do people make the same mistakes they do? Why do we always continue to do the same things we do over and over again? So what I'm doing now is very similar in that aspect of it. But it got to a point where I was, chained to a desk from 6 o'clock in the morning until 4 in the afternoon, staring at 4 computer screens. And I knew I did not want to do that the rest of my life. And I knew that if I didn't quit, that I would just have that paycheck and have I would never leave. So I had to just kind of cut it off. I basically built up a plan over, it took me probably a year to do it. From when I decided I was going to do it to finally making the jump and leaving. And
now, is that plan getting clients or?
No, that plan was when I quit, I had no idea what I was going to do. I just knew I had to quit. I started doing the XVT, and I started, really getting involved in that, and knew I wanted to have that somehow involved, the breath work and the heat and ice. I didn't know if I was going to open a gym or if I was just going to, teach people about this, or maybe I was going to go into the financial side of a business doing something like that. I wasn't really sure, but that was saving up enough money to quit and getting over the fear of, oh my God, what happens if I do this, and what am I going to just end up homeless on the side of the street in a few months, basically coming over that whole fear aspect of it. So it took a lot of writing, talking to people, friends, mentors, getting advice, and, just kind of having a solidified plan. Because when I quit, at that point I was training for the world's toughest mudder. So had that race like a month later. So I spent, that time just finishing up my training, and it was right into the holidays, spent a few months with family, and then kind of really set out after about 3 months trying to figure out what I want to do. And then XVT was starting a coaching program, certification program, and so they invited me to become one of the first coaches to get certified. There were, I think, 5 of us. And so I went and did that, and then from there
in that particular class, or there's 5 of you, period, that are certified?
No, now there's 150 in that class. So we were in like the test group. Now they teach them all over. They've got one this weekend in LA. I went and helped with one in Atlanta in February. So they're certifying probably 10 to 20 coaches a month, if not more. And they're, really looking to build that out. But I was in the first group of them. And once I did that, I was like, okay, now bring this back to Memphis. I was looking to move, but then I figured, why not just stay? I know a lot of people here have been here long enough. My girlfriend's here. There's no reason to move. And Memphis, I could see the changes happening here. It has always been a very unhealthy city. Now I believe there's a lot more focus on wellness, and there's a lot of, opportunity, and there's a lot of growth here with people going in the right direction.
I wonder that all the time, because it's like I just came into fitness. When I wasn't doing fitness, when I'm not doing something, I just assume nobody's doing that. Yeah. When I am doing something, I just assume everybody's doing that. And so now I look back and I ask myself, like, is fitness growing? Or more people doing it? Or is it just because I'm immersed in it? the people I know are obviously doing it
Yeah.
because that's how I know them.
I think there's a lot more. There's a lot of gyms opening up now. There's a lot of, like I was telling about you, my buddy Cole, who's got the Diverse Fit app, and there's a lot of new ideas going on right now that I think there's it's a growing community.
All because of CrossFit.
All because of Olive Branch CrossFit.
That's right. All because of my gym.
CrossFit's definitely a big aspect of it.
Have to interrupt. I think Alex Macklin is talking some jiu-jitsu smack. He said he's going to put you in a rear naked choke.
Alex does kick my ass in jiu-jitsu, so that's fairly common.
Do y'all spar each other?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
at the end of every class, you roll, so you're going man up, and I've
Yeah,
been doing jiu-jitsu.
they don't punch. Sparring.
Yeah,
would-
you don't
Right.
would
you don't
be
punch.
Like, this is like
I'm not into getting hit in my
this
face.
is like
Yeah,
I'm
me
just getting
neither.
up
choked
close
out.
and personal,
neither.
which scares the shit out of me.
Yeah,
It's fun.
I bet it is.
But we both started around the same time this summer, and just get my ass kicked for about 6-8 months now, it feels like.
Nothing wrong
Every
with that.
every time you feel like you're getting somewhere, you're like, damn, I don't know anything.
Well, in order to kick ass, there's got to be somebody getting their ass kicked.
Yeah,
So
that's right. But it's
Yeah,
a lot of
it's-
fun. It's a great new sport. I'm glad I took it up.
how long you been doing it?
Since the summer. I think I started in June.
What did that day one look like?
Day one wasn't bad at all because everybody takes it easy on you for a
I mean,
little
but
while.
when did you say I just want to choke somebody out?
Well, I'd been doing CrossFit and I've been, doing endurance races and stuff like that, and I just was kind of somewhat bored with it and needed something new and wanted to be a beginner again and learn a new skill, a new sport.
Oh man, I love
So I went in there and, going into something like that, it doesn't matter. I could get my ass kicked and I didn't really care. There's no ego. Going to CrossFit, sometimes it's like, I got to win the workout.
Yeah.
Where there, it's like, I don't care.
Where
Whatever.
do you guys do that at?
That Midtown Grappling Academy
Midtown Grappling Academy.
over by Wiseacre.
Okay. I just, it's so terrifying to me to think about walking into that place. Like, I couldn't imagine what would happen if I just showed up in there and like, okay.
They
What?
treat you great. I mean, really, and the higher belts help you along a lot, especially as a white belt.
Okay.
They'll kind of they let you go as hard as you're gonna go. So that is an issue, is trying to not go and just use strength, trying to learn the technique, and that's a little harder. That's a little easier said than done.
It's very important. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to change the subject and ask a question.
It's very important to be conscious that there's people in these dojos training to choke people out, because when you're out there and you think you're going to get into an altercation, guys think they can fight.
I do not think that at all.
I want to believe that, and I have fought, and I've lived there was a life when I was different than I am now, and so sizing people up is something. My environment is constantly being sized up with who's around me, but you also need to be aware that it's just like being at a race. You can't tell how fast somebody runs by looking at them, and you can't tell how badly they're going to whip your ass by looking at them either.
That's right. There's some 16-year-olds in there who whip my ass every time.
And wrestlers, if you have a background in wrestling,
Well, the wrestlers, they just crush you.
oh, they're all of them.
I have a thing about wrestlers because we've had several of them come into the gym and they're just always like full throttle, like
intense.
mid
Yes.
workout, go throw up and come back and finish the workout and then go throw up again and be like, "Let me give you my money." Like
Yeah.
they're so insane.
Well, wrestling practices are notoriously intense and
Yeah.
difficult, and
Really?
having to train to go 3-minute rounds. What's a wrestling round? 3 minutes.
I think so.
But I mean, you got to be
Sure.
ready to go 3 minutes full throttle. It's like boxing.
Right.
Have you ever put on boxing gloves?
Oh, yeah.
And box
Yeah.
for 90 seconds? It'll kill you.
Doug Larson he taught me one time how to wrap my hands and put the gloves on. And at the time we had a bag at the gym, and he started the clock, and he's like, okay, every so many seconds he taught me how to punch. Like, he taught me how to set up and he goes, okay, so what you're going to do is, it was something like left and then right, or something like that, And then he started the clock, and he goes, do that for 3 minutes, and then stop, or whatever it was, and he just left. And like 20 minutes later, I'm like, I was like, it was one of the craziest, insane workouts I've ever done. And like, finally he came back like 20 minutes later, and I was like, how was that? I was like, good God, man.
He came back like 4 minutes later is what it was.
Yeah.
4 minutes. And when you watch boxers on TV and it's like the 12th round and you're like, hit him. It's like he can't even lift his arms.
He's
Like
exhausted.
he can't hit him. He can't do anything. It's terrible. Amanda, what were you going to ask?
Oh, I just wanted to know more about the world's toughest mudder. Like, how did you get into that? What was it? What did it consist of?
So I started, I guess, doing kind of obstacle course races, did some Spartan races. I had been looking at it, contemplating doing it, but was like, I'm not going to commit to it. Then my girlfriend Caroline and her brother Cole were signed up to do the 8-hour version in Atlanta. They trained. So a week before that, I decided, okay, I'll go do that race with you guys. I was like, and if I get 25 miles in that, then I'll go do the Worlds. So I got 25 miles. I limped through it.
You're like, damn it, I got 25 miles.
I was sad. I was like, I gotta get it.
I might be out of the loop. So 25 miles. And
Well,
what's
it's 25 miles. You got like they called it contender status, which didn't really mean anything. But
what's
they
the
made
world?
it.
The
World's toughest mudder is a 24-hour race.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
So it was when we did it. It was in Las Vegas. Now it's in Atlanta.
Okay.
Right outside of Atlanta. So we went and trained all summer for it, and a lot of going out to Shelby Farm, Shelby Forest, climbing hills, a lot of grip work, monkey bars. So went and did that, and I got 55 miles in that of, I guess, officially, but probably a lot more because you go out there, you start at noon, and you end at noon the next day. Or like 1:30, I guess you have to run it. And when you start, it's like 80 degrees. You're, and shirtless, running, and hot as shit. And everybody starts running, and then they kind of after, I think about an hour, 2 hours, they start gradually opening up the obstacles. But by the time the sun goes down, you have to put on a wetsuit because it gets so damn cold, or you'll get hypothermia. You're in and out of water.
Oh my god!
The last obstacle,
wow.
last obstacle, you jump off a 35-foot cliff, and the hard part of that is then you got to climb out of the water. And I remember thinking towards the late at night, it's like,
Oh my
I don't know
God.
if I can climb out of this thing. And if they touch you in the water, you're automatically disqualified. So it's basically in the middle of the night. I mean, a lot of people do it, and then they just kind of quit once it gets dark, and they go to their tent because everybody has you have a tent and you have a pit crew, and so they can kind of meet you either like at the starting line, finish line, or you can come in and change, get some hot food occasionally. But it was a whole lot of fun.
Is it glamping, or do you have to bring your own crew and tents and all that?
You got to
stuff?
bring your own crew and tent and food and
Okay.
everything. And they
I
had
wanna do
like
this.
one microwave, I think, and what else? And like it was very hard to get hot water, and how they did it. But it was. I remember the greatest thing in the middle of the night was a cup of hot ramen noodles. That was
Oh, my
like
God.
savior.
What is it about ramen noodles that's so good for running?
Something
Is
about
it
the chicken
salt,
broth.
it's the
Is it-
sodium,
yeah.
and
The broth
and the
more than the
carb,
noodles?
and yeah, you get all the salt and the carbs, and it's warm, especially there. I mean, it's like 40 degrees. We're in wetsuits, freezing, and that was my favorite treat by far. If I ever have to do anything like that, I'm just going to get a lot of cup of noodles.
How long is the course?
5 miles. It's a 5-mile loop, and you just do it as many times as you can.
And you have to go through the obstacles each time.
Yeah.
Every obstacle every time.
Well, not every time. So I think I made it through like 3 or 4 laps before all the obstacles were open. And the way they had it, you were in and out of a lot of water at first. The obstacles, and some of the obstacles you have to have help on. You can't get over them by yourself. So if you get there late at night and there's nobody else there, you're just kind of waiting around, or you might have to take a penalty, and the penalty's added miles.
Oh, man.
Added
shit.
distance.
I really want to do this.
And,
I really don't.
And they made it at one point. So then in the middle of the thing, you have to climb up this big hill. So it was all up this hill and then back down. And then they got you on all the really grip intensive obstacles at the end. So by the end of the night, you're just like, okay, I can't hang on to a monkey bar anymore. They're all super slick. and you're just falling off. So it's like, do I even attempt this thing, or should I just start walking and go on the penalty lap?
Oh my gosh! Wow.
There is no
It's a
way
whole
that
lot
I
of
can
fun.
do I can't even get back. I need help getting into my car after I finish a race. Like jumping off of something and into something else. If I was going to jump off of something, it would be a high place with a hard ground.
30.
And it would be
look,
one time.
35
It's like
feet
35
is
feet,
hard to get yourself. For me, anyway, to be.
Well, and
I
you-
got to step and look over the edge a couple
And
of
if
times.
you don't hit land right, it hurts.
What you landing on land?
No,
No,
you're
no.
in water.
If you don't land in the water right.
If you don't land
Oh
in the
yeah,
water,
right.
it's
Okay. Okay. But say, what kind of is it? Just like a lemming suicide mission?
Well, he broke both legs, so it looks like you get a penalty lap.
Otis is out.
5 extra miles for you, broke leg.
So as the race goes on, do they shut down? Do they make it easier at all?
No, they don't make it easier. They actually made it harder in the middle of the night. I remember they changed it up somehow, made like the penalties a little harder, so you would try to attempt some of the obstacles because people were just walking around it.
So did you?
And then they have some where you get electrocuted on them. And
Well, did you sleep at all, or
No, we didn't
Okay,
sleep at all.
so that's got to be
Some
rough.
people do,
like,
but
like
no way.
There's got to be some sort of delirium that
When
plays
you-
into this, where
Yeah.
you're like, get to this obstacle, and you don't even know which direction you're supposed
when
to be facing.
well, it's almost like you're running a race on the moon. Everybody's in these suits, and it's like in the middle of the night, and you just see these headlamps kind of
Yeah,
going along.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
I bet
it's-
that is weird.
And it's very weird towards the end of the night. But then the sunrise comes up, and it's like, this is amazing.
yeah,
That's like one of the coolest feelings.
Is it one of the most gratifying things you've done?
It's up there. That's for sure.
Are you going to do it again?
No.
Not again.
No, I think Tough Mudder might be going bankrupt from what I've been
Are they?
reading. And Spartan has some cool 24-hour races, but I do like doing something like that every once in a while. So I've got some ideas of other hardcore events that I would like to do at some point.
The Tour de Spree is just as hard, I'm
Is
sure.
it?
Running around.
Just running around.
Anything
Running
for
around.
24 hours is hard. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just your body's don't really go
But
like that.
all jokes aside, the Tour de Spree, do you think that you'll do that? You have any desire to
No,
participate
because
in that?
aren't you running on hard pavement?
A lot.
I
It's
don't
pretty.
like riding
It's pretty
on
broke
this.
up. It's not. I hate hard pavement. I would say probably 20% of it is hard pavement. Maybe.
Yeah, see, I don't see myself doing that.
Yeah.
One of the things I like about obstacles is you're doing something besides running as well,
Right.
and I enjoy that of it.
The obstacle
Aspect
for
of
me
it.
is running. Like there's a curb that you have to step up at the Tour de Spirit, and to me that's an
Just
obstacle.
straight running, that's a lot of pain
just
on my
find
body.
a race where you do a mile of monkey bars the whole time.
Yeah.
That'd be. I'd like to see somebody complete that.
So what is next for you? Do you have any big plans?
Race-wise, nothing on the books right now.
Yeah.
Right now, it's getting my business going and more focused on that, and trying to learn jiu-jitsu, and I have some ideas of things I want to do in the future. We'll see.
What is the name of your business?
Symmetry.
Symmetry. Okay.
How can people get a hold of you or find you?
My Instagram is @symmetry.live and @TSOMERV. Symmetry.live is the website.
Okay.
Taylor Somerville on Facebook and Symmetry on Facebook.
Are you
as
about
well.
to bust out?
We
some
almost ran out of
hypothetical?
time. The hour is almost up, but not quite.
Oh.
It's time for
Hypotheticals. It's not hard, it's super easy. Hypotheticals. It's so fun and it's oh so cheesy. Hypotheticals. To your cousin Ben and your best friend Wheezy.
It's time for
Hypotheticals.
It's about that time.
Have you seen the Roadcaster?
I've heard of it.
And it's like they make it real quick before we go. It's a podcasting thing, and it comes with it's got everything for you, but it's got 4 buttons, and you can program stuff like that to where you can pop, and it'll play the thing.
I have seen that. It's
Yeah.
been a while. I looked at it at one point in time.
It's pretty neato.
Hypotheticals.
Speaking of Nito,
So does Taylor get to go first?
Yes, because he's our guest. Hypotheticals is brought to you by Ted Horrell and the Monday Night Card. TedHorrellmusic.com.
There you go.
All right, Taylor, you ready for this?
Sure. Hit me.
A building is on fire. Inside the building is your mom and a sibling. Also inside of the building are your best friend's 2 newborn twins. You can only save one pair.
Oh my gosh.
What pair do you save?
This is the worst question.
Terrible.
Is that bad? Is that bad? They're all morbid as shit, aren't they?
Who's going to die?
Oh,
So is he
man,
going to
that's
be a
tough
child
one.
killer or a family killer?
Yeah.
Well, I'm taking the babies.
You're
tough.
you're saving the babies.
You got to start with the babies.
Sorry, Mom.
It's kind of hard not to save babies.
Yeah, it is. They've got a long life
They've
to
got a
live.
long
Oh
life
man,
to
I'm the
live.
opposite. I'd kill the babies.
We're-
I wouldn't kill the babies.
That is a sound bite. I'll kill the baby.
Kill the babies.
No, but they haven't really experienced life, so they don't know what they're gonna miss, and they won't have to go through a terrible life anyway. So they could just go be angels and have them.
Kill the babies. Amanda Horrell.
That sounded so bad.
Hashtag kill the babies. Wow. I'm with you though.
Oh,
That makes
man,
sense.
I don't know where that one came from.
Yeah.
Alex said that you should come jujitsu,
Oh, my gosh. I will.
gotta
one
come
day.
now.
Oh, man.
like all
Doug's
capitals.
up there too.
Vaughn, come do it.
Do it, Vaughn.
Do it.
Okay, I'll look into it.
All right, here we go. This is a good one. This is
Terrified.
not as morbid as the one before. Does the fact that we don't know of anyone from the future Hold on.
What?
Does the fact that we don't know of anyone from the future time traveling back to our time or our past prove that time travel will never be possible?
No,
It doesn't. You think maybe someday it will be possible?
I think it is possible.
Don't you think if it is possible, it would have already been done?
How do you know it's not being done right now?
Yeah. That's what I was
Because
about to say.
somebody would be telling us
You're just-
it's already been done.
Maybe
It's-
we're just in the wrong dimension.
Yep.
Yeah,
you think that it's a dimensional
possible.
thing.
we're stuck
that
in the
makes
past.
sense.
Did you watch Man in the High
But if
Castle?
we're stuck in the past and time travels, if we're stuck in the past and time travel's possible, then it's possible somebody should have come back and said, "Yo, you're stuck in the past, and I'm from the future. Good
They
to
come
see
back
ya.
and watch us and be like, oh,
I'm out."
going back to the future.
You think they're traveling and not telling us?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know if time
yeah,
travel's
if
real.
they're traveling and telling us, then they've messed up the whole space-time.
Yeah, then
continuum,
everybody's
and
going to
we're-
travel. And then everybody's going to be
There's no
like,
telling. I mean,
Time continuum. All right.
it throws everything out of whack.
yeah, there's no balance anymore.
Haven't you seen
Earth
Bill
would
and
crash.
Ted's?
yeah.
All right, I got one more. This will change your life. If you were to have, would you rather have a teleporter or a time travel machine? You can only have one. Who wants it most? Who's going
Can I
first?
go?
Raise your
I'll
hand.
go first. Can I go forwards and backwards?
And the time traveler, you can.
Yeah, I'm taking the
I'm
time.
taking
you
the
travel.
time
can't-
traveler.
Yep.
You can't in the teleporter.
I want to teleport.
You want to teleport.
That way, yeah, I don't have to
Time
like travel to
traveler?
work.
Time travel.
Yeah, for sure.
We've learned a lot during this segment of
We have.
hypotheticals. A lot about Amanda. Things that maybe we
Really?
didn't want to know.
She likes to kill babies.
Yep.
Man,
This podcast just
I'm
went
not.
really dark.
I'm not a
Figure.
baby killer.
Took a
I'm really
turn for
not.
the worst.
dang, you're not on Twitter. They're get you, baby killer.
Jeez. Taylor, it's been great, man.
Thank
All
you.
the best in the future. I admire you. I admire you
Yes,
for
definitely.
branching out and starting your own thing.
Yeah.
I admire you most of all when you said that when things got tough, that you went in search of something different, and found the breathing and you found a solution. And I think that
Right
that's
on.
an admirable quality.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, man. Lift Heavy, Run Long, number 137 is in the books.